Hello, and thank you for joining us for another episode here of the Uncharted Podcast, your home for nonprofit data talk, donor management tools and updates, and financial integrations. My name is Jeremy, and I am joined, as always, by my lovely co-host, Summer. Summer, how are you?
Doing well. How are you today, Jeremy?
I am good. I've been a little sick. And summer colds are the worst. Oh, God.
Yeah, and something must be going around. We got hit, too. Last week, we were just the whole house. I'm like, gross.
So I'm a little gravelly, but life goes on.
It gives you so if we have just online listeners, audio only, kind of gives you that sexy radio voice. So it's fine.
Yeah.
There you go.
I just thought I could do movie trailers right now too.
Oh, yeah.
In a world. Right. All right, let's hop into things here. In the news, what do you got? I heard there was an update.
Yes. So Charity Engine this week has actually released their Copilot, which is their AI. Super cool. Just started playing around with it myself. And they have, instead of a standard AI, they have something called, I want to say this right, agentic AI? I don't know if I said that right.
I think it's agentic, yep.
Okay.
Agent-based, yep.
So, and what that means, kind of the difference between standard and agentic is it doesn't just spit out answers to you. It'll actually take your prompts and help you with goal-driven responses. And it uses tools to operate software, web browsers, APIs. It'll self-correct. And you can, in Charity Engine's version, you can actually talk to it. So they enabled a little speaker button, so you can just click on it and talk to it like you're talking to a friend or a coworker. You can just say, hey, how do I do, XYZ, or what would you recommend for whatever? Yeah. So super new still. They're supposed to be rolling out features kind of every so often over the next 60 days. So I am just getting into kind of the basic part, but there's supposed to be a notes taker, a content writer, and a couple other things, I think. So super cool stuff. I'm excited to see where it goes, especially the notes. I'm excited for the notes.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds awesome. That's something that I do a lot of the AI things now, or try, right? But getting to the point where I can talk to it. So all the tools have it, and I'm just not used to doing that. So I'll be typing them, stop, just go. And it doesn't care that you have 70 different ideas and go all over the place. It'll bring it together, and it's just so much easier. So that's something I'm struggling with, but it's such a time saver, right? I'm not that fast of a typer. Yeah.
Right. And also just the basic stuff that I can help with, but if it can take notes for you and you can just talk to it and have it take notes for you for fundraisers, that is going to be huge, because you can be on the go and you can be hey, on John Doe's record, I need you to type or whatever. We had a meeting and he said this and I said that, and blah, 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 blah. And even if you have to go back and kind of clean it up and review it, the fact that it does the majority of it for you would be so cool.
Oh yeah, especially when it's fresh.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Thanks for the update. Then do our Donor Perfect calendar. You can get this at Donor Perfect PDF version. Today's fun fact was an effective fundraising dashboard does more than crunch numbers. It offers a complete picture of the person behind the data. All right. I like it.
Yes. I like the complete picture. That's usually my whole pitch with CRMs is we need to use it to get your complete picture of your donor and their whole journey with your organization.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes.
All right, and with that, we're excited. We got a wonderful guest again joining us here. Let's welcome to the booth, Brian Retterer. Welcome, sir. Hey. So excited you could be here with us today. Love it if you could do a quick intro for the listeners.
Yeah, definitely. Brian Retterer, as you said. I have been a software engineer for a little over 15 years. I've been mainly focused in PHP development and helping individuals and companies and nonprofits get online.
Nice. Cool. All right. And without any more ado, I'm going to put you through the giving gauntlet. So I gave you at least a taste of what this should be. We got 10 questions for you. By no means are you expected to get them all right. And then we'll debrief on a lot of the things and talk about why we are blessed to have you with us. So do you think you're ready?
I think so. I'm really bad at trivia and questions like that. So we'll see how this goes.
All right. It's even harder when the timer starts. So here we go. All right. First one. Dan Brown wrote a 2003 best-selling novel that opened with an incident in the Louvre Museum. It later became a fantastic movie with Tom Hanks starring as its principal character, Robert Langdon.
Oh, I know the movie, but I can't think of it. Um, the treasure, something like that.
In Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Indy or Junior tosses a passenger out of the blimp and then famously responds to the other passengers with horrified looks on their faces with this classic two-word response.
Can't say I've watched that.
Oh, man.
I know.
All good. All right. What do you call a group of ferrets?
Ferrets. A herd of ferrets. Let's go with that.
In the Terminator franchise, what artificial intelligence company / business becomes self-aware and decides humanity is the problem?
I told you I'm bad at this. Haven't seen Terminator.
Oh, man. Okay. You're going to have to get out and a little
Yeah.
less coding. What is the official name of the hashtag or pound symbol?
Octothorpe.
There's a 1991 comedy starring Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, and John Candy where the lovable losers decide to join the U.S. Army.
Stripes, I believe.
What was Google's original name?
I don't know that, actually.
This game show was hosted by Bob Barker for decades and implores its contestants to come on down.
Oh, Price is Right, of course.
All right. What Star Wars character played by Harrison Ford is the captain of the Millennium Falcon?
Well, partnered with Chewie, I know that. It was wow. You asked me way too quick on this one, and I'm kind of disappointed because I've got the Falcon right above my head right now.
Oh yeah, you're not a duo. You are
Han Solo. Thank you.
All right, and then last one. What 2012 musical comedy starring Anna Kendrick and Rebel Wilson follows an all-female college a cappella group called the Barden Bellas?
I have no clue.
All right, that was rough.
That's
I'm
all right.
sorry.
I'm kind of disappointed in myself on those.
You need to watch some movies this weekend.
I do.
That's right.
I do.
I am actually right after this. My youngest talked me into go and see the new Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So I'm not a huge movie guy either, but know most of them. So let's go back and debrief on this. And talk about why we have you on here. So
yeah,
Dan Brown's mystery novel that later became a great movie was The Da Vinci Code.
Yep. I know that now.
Yep.
I know the movie. I love that movie. I just can't think of the title.
Oh yeah, it's so good. Yeah. And I don't read a lot of nonfiction books, but I like Dan Brown's because he does so much like actual history of researching things. So I love them. And I bring this one up, like you are obviously a coder, like good at coding and things like that, and talk about like open source and API. So like, how did you start doing that, and what like brought you to that profession or hobby or whatever you'd call it?
It's actually a fun story. My training from college is actually in theater. It's theater production with the folks in sound design.
But you couldn't watch any movies while you were at college.
Too busy with the actual theater and putting on productions.
I love it.
So, but yeah, so I started out in that area. I grew up around computers my entire life. My dad was a software engineer, computer science professor at the university. So I was raised with computers, and it was a hobby of mine during college. And my senior project was actually building a system to help manage all of the inventory at the theater. And it just kind of became, fully self-taught, and it became my career versus theater, where theater became my hobby.
That's cool. Yeah. It's funny. I was in college and I think I was a junior and I needed one more elective. So I decided to take a coding class that was like 101 all other freshmen, and it just would not work for me. It was the only class I ever dropped in college. I just couldn't, like, my brain just does not work that way.
Yeah, it takes a different mindset, definitely, for that.
And super frustrating when all these freshmen are just like, yep, I'm done, and their little bot is moving wherever on the screen, and I'm like, I don't know what you're doing, man.
Yeah, for me, it all started with I don't know if you remember Turtle on the Apple II back in the day.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
Go up, go right, go left.
Yeah, I didn't have an Apple II. We had an Apple II GS though. And
yeah,
I remember many a day sitting on that and playing around with the games.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, let's move on to number 2. So Indiana Jones reference, where Indy, also Harrison Ford, punches out. It's actually one of the Nazis that comes in to capture him, and he's dressed up as one of the the stewards of the blimp. He punches him out, and everybody looks at him, and he looks at him and says,
"No ticket."
Nice. The only Indiana Jones reference I could, a couple, like 3 of them, is the big boulder, and then the bag swap, and then the ants.
so I bring this one up. So your tool that you are developing and why I have you on there is called Ticket Committee. So let's tell us a little bit about that and like how you came to be and build it and all that stuff.
Yeah, so Ticket Committee was a project that I originally built just as kind of a one-off thing for one organization that I help at our local schools after prom. They were originally building everything and doing everything via paper and cash. And with my mind and the engineering background and the software and having to have things more automated and easier to manage, really didn't let me run or be part of that committee without upgrading their software. So I built it really, like I said, it was a one-off to let the kids sign up for after prom to be able to buy their tickets online with a credit card, and that was it. And then after that first successful year, we decided, hey, let's add some extra features to this, because one of the things that they were also doing was calling parents when the student would leave after prom early. So what I did is I integrated with a SMS provider and worked with the software and updated the software. So now you scan out when you leave the after prom early, and it sends a text message to their parent automatically saying, hey, your students left after prom at this time, just kind of a keep your eye out for them, expect them home type thing. That went over really well. I added more and more features to it, and about 2 years ago, it really just became a product. And then I started getting community organizations started using it. They started asking for more features. One of the big features that has been added now is a silent auction, a feature that we just released. So really, it just was an idea I had, and now it's turned into a full-fledged product.
Yeah, I love that. First of all, like the time savings of just not having to call parents, right?
Yeah.
Is just huge, and that like they need to obviously know that and the security around that. So that's just cool. And yeah, and I always think that too. Like the best business ideas are filling a space, right?
Yes.
Like when there's a need out there, and you fill that. So yeah, I think that's a pretty cool story. All right, let's go on to number 3. What do you call a group of ferrets? I didn't know this one either. It's a business of ferrets.
Now that you say that, I have heard that before, and it's all as that hindsight.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I didn't know that one either. But like,
it's
so
that timer that gets you.
It is. It 100% is.
It 100% is that timer that gets you. Yeah. So this is still like a side project for you, right?
Yeah, it definitely is a side project at the moment. It's becoming more of a full-time side project. I'm spending a lot of my time in the evenings at my desk and working on this. And luckily I have a great family and a wife that understands that and wants me to succeed at this too. So I'm able to spend a lot of time at my computer. But I do have a full-time job that takes up my daytime work hours and doesn't let me focus a lot on that on Ticket Committee at the moment. So luckily I'm still able to have that full-time job that helps pay the bills right now while Ticket Committee is getting underway.
I know I started mine, I think 2 years before I quit and decided like, hey, I'm going to go all in and just do the accounting.
Yeah.
Those are hard moonlighting nights sometimes.
They are. It takes a lot of time. And wife and I used to watch a lot of TV in the evenings and things like that. But I don't know that I've watched much TV in the last year, honestly.
I mean, that makes sense with the questions.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely no time for movies.
Yeah.
I do need to brush up on some of this stuff.
Yeah. So I saw on your website too that you're like the only contact, and so managing all that must be a lot. So that's really impressive.
Yeah, it is just me right now. So I'm the sole developer, the support agent, the help desk, the legal side of things. Every aspect of it is on me. I am lucky enough to be able to have some people either volunteer their time or help out where possible. But yeah, a lot of it comes down to me. And one of the big things for me is the social media aspect.
Yes.
That takes a lot of time. I didn't realize how much time that actually takes.
Yep, that's a struggle for my business too. I've admittedly been awful at it, absolutely horrible. So great job, you're doing wonderfully.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So when this podcast gets extremely popular and out to everyone, and it gets to your company, are you going to be in trouble?
No, that's the right answer, right?
That is the right
I have enough bandwidth to help anybody and everybody that comes to the ticket committee. It needs event system and
Yeah, I love it. Oh, great. All right, let's move to the next one. Terminator franchise. What is the AI company that becomes self-aware and decides humanity is the problem? Skynet is the name of that one. Never saw that one either.
no.
Skynet defense system now activated.
Yeah, want to dig into this one into AI a little bit, right? So before we even talk about like you know, we talk a little bit beforehand or prepare somewhat for this, but how much do you use AI with actually developing ticket committee and the tool? Because that has always been surprised, like to me, is everybody's like now, oh, you can make your own apps and do all this stuff, and I am not smart enough to do that. But I was just curious, like somebody who does these things, how much do you rely on that when you're building this?
So early in the AI time, I was hesitant to really get started with it. Part of that was the models that were out there weren't efficient enough. They didn't know enough of coding. Um, my projects are all built on Laravel, so it's a pretty well known PHP framework. So AI had some information about it, but it really wasn't a great coding companion. I used it more for helping me write emails or blog content or social media content, things like that. I didn't even really have it generate imagery for me until recently. But as time got more and more, or as the models got more and more efficient and knowledgeable and know how to actually do the coding, I actually implement it pretty heavily in my day to day now. I treat AI as a engineering team. So there's, I have a massive list of bugs and or feature updates and things I want to fix on GitHub. And what I'll do is I'll send AI. I utilize Claude pretty heavily for this, and I'll send it over to GitHub and just say, hey, go grab 5 or 10 tickets and fix them. Whether that's a library update or a full-fledged feature. So looking at the silent auction side of things, I actually utilized AI, and the term vibe coded comes out a lot, but it's that's such a loaded term in my opinion. Where yeah, it is vibe coded, but it's also coded in a way where I'm checking everything that it gives me. I'm not just pushing AI slop code up live. I'll take what it does and review every single line of it. I'll push back on why it did certain things and make it change it or change it myself. And then I'll push it out to my test environments and actually do a full run of it. But yeah, I'm using it daily. I actually I was hurting a little bit this week because I actually maxed out my plan with AI on Sunday, and I didn't get it back until Thursday. So it was hurting a little bit. My productivity definitely went down this week on ticket committee development.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I like to tell a lot of my engineers that I work with and have under me at my day job, because we're implementing AI as well there, is trust but verify.
Right.
Trust that the AI can do what you're telling it to do, but always verify it actually did what you think it should have done.
Right. Yeah, and that's kind of what I look at it in the accounting space too. Is it's like that should be now for people who know accounting, your intern or your junior level accountant,
Yes.
right? Go do these things, but then look at everything. And obviously, like security concerns, we can't put passwords or account numbers or social security numbers or anything like that in there. But have it do the stuff that it can do, and then take a look at it and prompt it to change things and whatnot. And I think right now, if you're running a business or a tool like you have, and you're not doing that, you're doing your clients and the people you're serving a disservice, because you're going to have to incrementally increase pricing if you're bringing people in and things like that. So
yeah, exactly. And A lot of the things that I'll do too, bring in your accounting side of things. Is I'll have it run reports for me. I'll just describe what kind of report I want it. I have it set up with read-only access to my data, so it can actually just go get data. It can't change anything on the database, so there's no risk of that, deleting the entire database and getting rid of everything that's there. But I'll say, how many. One of my analytics dashboards is how many tickets have I sold in the last month, across the platform, across all events, things like that, and it spits out the data for me a lot quicker than I could run the queries and do it myself.
Yeah. So we are mostly targeting this to like data and CRM managers, things like that. Where do you expect like them to be using AI in their roles, or where do you see that going?
Looking at the CRM side, because that's the other area that I do as a sole business owner, is I've got a full CRM, that I manage, and I actually connected my AI system to the CRM. So it'll pull in leads for me. It'll kind of keep track of what I need to be doing within the CRM, make sure I'm aware of any upcoming deals or contracts that need to be looked at or things like that. So I do really see the benefit there for the CRM managers or even just a sales team that's in CRMs every day to be able to help their day-to-day work.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so too. It's like get the like automate the easy stuff, right?
Yeah.
Automate
Yeah.
that, verify.
Mostly the repetitive stuff, like the reports and the list pulling and the leads and stuff like that. I've found when I've used it I've just been testing some things recently, and I'll be like, hey, draft me a letter for this. And it'll give you a letter, but it's always usually super generic, and you can just kind of tell that tone's not really there, that relational tone. It tries, it's learning, but yeah, definitely a huge plus for the reports though.
Yeah. Like I said, I've been doing like generating emails with AI for quite a while. I have spent many, many, many tokens and credits with AI training my model and the way I work and the way I talk and the way I, write emails, whether it needs to be a professional business email or just a, quick response email. So I'll almost always have AI draft an email for me first, and then I'll go in and tweak it from there. But at this point in time, I almost never have to tweak it.
Yeah, and that's something new that I've learned is that you can train it to sound like you. So I'm like, that's terrifying, but really cool.
Yeah, it saves me a lot of time, because I've actually got it connected to my email account too. So it watches emails. It'll automatically label or archive things for me and prepare a draft response for me and things like that. So it's really become my virtual assistant almost.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's something I think a lot of like CEOs and executive directors could really benefit from, because they're spending so much time in, meetings and with the board and all that. So just having some tool to help at least get through their inbox and flag like, yep, look at this, not so important. Yep, I already responded to that for you.
100%.
It clearly wasn't smart enough to tell you not to respond to Jeremy's inquiry if you wanted to join a podcast. So, but,
it actually did. It said this would be a great opportunity.
Perfect. I like thanks, AI. Let's keep going here. Next one. What is the official name of the hash? Like again, it used to be pound when I was a kid. Now it's hashtag. But this one you got, and I tried to get some like what's some relatively obscure but techie questions.
Yeah.
So yeah, an octothorpe. I had no idea.
Yeah, I actually. So you watch a lot of movies. Seems like a lot of people watch a lot of movies. I watch a lot of random tech videos on YouTube, and I believe it was I think it was Numberphile actually did an entire episode on the octothorpe and the history of it and where it came from and things like that. It's a really cool video to go back and watch.
I love it. Yeah, never knew that one. Another one you got right, which I was surprised because this one I thought was way more obscure. The 1981 comedy starring Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, and John Candy, Lovable Losers Who Joined the Army, is Stripes. Nice work.
I don't know why I know that.
But yeah, nice work on that. That one, like, it's such a classic movie if you haven't seen it, where they like have this crazy tech RV weapon at the end of it. You're like, this is so ridiculous, but they just make it funny.
The movies I have watched I almost never watch more than once. It just I'm not one of those people that can watch a movie over and over again. But I have seen Stripes a number of times.
Army training, sir! Army training, sir!
Yeah, it's that good. But with Ticket Committee, so Stripe is connected. I'm pulling this together to do the payment processing.
Yep.
So as somebody who's developed a tool, why did you select that one? First of all, is it like that the easiest, or is that like the securest, or like why is that a selection?
So there are many different options out there for you nowadays. When I started building websites that took payment, so that back in 2013, I believe, was the first time I integrated a payment processor. Stripe was about the only player out there, unless you wanted to become a true, like, working directly with banks or authorized.net. You wanted to be a merchant of record type setup. Stripe was the new player and kind of the disruptor in the area. I have always really liked Stripe as my go-to, so that it's kind of stuck with it. One of the reasons I like them is their developer documentation. They have the best developer documentation out there. Like, when people talk about what is a good developer doc, it's Stripe. Stripe is almost always the answer. Yeah, there are some quirks to it, especially now that they've increased their product area. You're always going to have quirks. Every piece of software has quirks like that. But it's still, if you need to charge a credit card online, Stripe is the way I'm going to go.
Okay. No, that totally makes sense. We have this argument in the accounting industry too, that like we all hate QuickBooks, but all of us use it. But it's because we can integrate so many things with it, right? Like its API is the easiest thing to do it, and the tools we want to use. But I do another podcast for accounting, and my partner on that, Tyler, is just waiting. He's like keeps telling all these other people with their tools, it's like, connect to this and connect to this and connect to this, and we'll all change to you, because none of us likes QuickBooks. Yeah, it's really about making it easy for the end user and for them to like be able to talk with other things and play in the sandbox.
Yeah, the unique area for Ticket Committee with Stripe is the way I've got the connection done. So there's technically two routes within Stripe. There's the Stripe payments to the Ticket Committee platform for your membership to be able to utilize Ticket Committee. But then there's also the connected account side. So the way I've set up Ticket Committee versus a lot of other platforms that are out there is none of the ticket sale money routes through Ticket Committee. I never see any of that coming through me. Where if you look at some of these other platforms, all of the money goes to them, and then 2 to 3 weeks after, they release those funds to you. Where I don't want to do that. I don't want to be responsible for that money. I don't want, so I have anybody that signs up for Ticket Committee to run their events, they just set up their own Stripe account directly from the platform, and then all the funds just get routed directly to their Stripe account and then ultimately their bank account.
Yeah, because what you'll typically see in a lot of other platforms, CRMs, event platforms, is the platform fee and then the Stripe fee. So there's usually two fees, and people don't always know that.
Exactly.
But Stripe is super common. Most platforms that I've used use Stripe as their processor. So
yeah, it's an easy thing to integrate. It's a couple lines of code to set it up, and you're off running. You can take credit card payments, or even turn on things like ACH transfers, or other, like Klarna, if you're running those kind of businesses where you want to offer like pay in 4 type things. It's just a setting inside of Stripe to turn those on.
And that delay period coming from the account, those companies are making all sorts of interest on that.
They are.
I forgot how much like Starbucks has on their account, because every time you have to reload your card, you have to put at least $25 in there, and it just sits in their account. They get to make all sorts of interest off of it. So love it. All right, let's go on to what are we on? Number 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 7. Google, what is their original name? I did not know this either, but I saw this obscure question and I was like, maybe this will be up his alley. So no idea what the Google original name was?
I know what their parent company is now.
Yeah.
Which is Alphabet.
Right.
But yeah, I know I've heard the name, but I cannot pull it out of my brain.
It is Backrub.
Yep. I do remember that.
And that sounds weird, but I looked at this. and yeah, that would be like weird, but yeah. So Larry Page and I think it's
Sergey Brin.
Sergey Brin, yeah. They called it Backrub in 1996 when it was launched because the search engine worked by checking the internet's backlinks or the like links of the websites pointing to each other. So yeah, I never knew that one either. Cool fun fact.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, then number 8, game show that was hosted by Bob Barker. Come on down. Got to know this one.
How can you not?
If you would have failed this one, I would have immediately we would have stopped the show.
I would have just left. Log off. I'm done.
Hear a mic drop. We're done. Here, yeah.
Welcome to The Price is Right.
So let's talk about pricing. So you talked about a little bit already, but talk about how you have the pricing for Ticket Committee, and then how that's different for what some of the other ones or things you're seeing in the space.
Yeah, so ticketing platforms, there's a lot of choices out there. It is a very saturated market, but the one main issue that I find with a lot of other platforms is they succeed when your tickets succeed because they're taking platform fees. You can't, as a event organizer, be able to, plan how much you're going to be, making in the long run based on tickets. And I mean, there's calculations you can do to figure it out, but it's like, if my event becomes super successful, why should, this other ticketing platform make so much money because of my success?
And when you say that, could they get some kind of percent, right?
Yeah. So a lot of those ticketing platforms, they'll do, not only the Stripe or the credit card processing fees, they'll take a percentage and, additional cash as well per ticket. Right. So, and without naming names, you've got one that is out there, they'll take $1 per ticket no matter what, or if the ticket value is above a certain amount of threshold, it'll go up to $5 or $10 per ticket that they'll take.
Sure. Okay.
There's others that'll take, 6.8% and then $1.35 per ticket, which is just crazy to me. And I understand, the business side of things where, if they're not making money, they can't be in business. But to me, I want to help people. Like, the way I got into development originally is helping people get online. I want to help people have a successful event. So I turned things on their head, and I don't charge a single penny for platform fees other than my $99 a year fee. And that just gives you access to the platform. Gives you a set number of attendees for your event, gives you enough messaging capability for your event for those 250 attendees. And then, it's a model where you can add on to that. So if you need more attendees for your event, you can pay a small little fee for that. That way you can sit down and actually plan what your event is going to fully cost you without having to deal with, well, it'll cost me X amount of dollars if I have 150 attendees versus, this amount of dollars if I have 500 attendees. I can budget exactly what my platform is going to cost.
Right.
So that the reason I went that route was for that, but also it lets me understand how the events are actually using the platform and be able to translate and set up their events with them directly, exactly how they need it with the capacity they need.
Sure. Yeah, I could totally see that. So also got the auction live.
Yeah.
How is that working? Pricing for that compared to others, stuff like that.
Yeah. So the silent auction, it's all part of the same account fee, basically the $99. Part of that $99, it gives you I call them campaigns per year, but then you can add on additional campaigns. So if you're running, 4 different events a year, 4 different silent auctions a year, you pay that $99 and then you pay the campaign fee, add-on fee per additional campaign for that year.
Right.
Silent auctions is a little bit different just because of the amount of volume and throughput for emails and text messages. There is a small platform fee on those where it's, I'm only charging 1.2% up to a $15 max per item that's sold. And that is just covering essentially my cost to be able to send text messages when you're outbid, be able to send the authentication code when you're signing in to your silent auction as a bidder, because that's the only area that actually has an account for the end user, not the admin of the event.
What have you seen with other organizations on that you wouldn't?
A lot of other silent auction systems out there will use no cap on their bids, and they're typically a much higher percentage. Okay. So they're within 2.5 to again like 6.5% of the item total item cost. And then a lot of the times they'll tack on the card processing fee on top of that too.
And I like too how it's set up that again, even with like, hey, you're gonna have extra campaigns and that's an additional fee, but like you have that set up that like they're going to be making money if they want to do that, right? So like if we have a lot of tools where we use where it's like, oh yeah, if you need another user, that's a fee. Well, don't do that. If I have another client, charge me a fee because I can make money with the client. The other one, like if I'm adding a user, that's actually a cost for me because I'm paying for them and now I need to pay another license for them and all of that stuff. Where it's like, charge me per client, great. I'll put that in my pricing. We'll make money off it. So I think it's a great model.
Yeah, it's capacity pricing, and I guess it's more usage pricing, where it's you're going to pay a little bit more if you have a bigger event, but it's a lot more affordable than just paying per ticket to the platform.
Yeah, but it also fits your market too, right? Like you're not going after the Goodwills and
right.
feeding
Yeah,
America.
I'm not going over after Gen Con just happened. I'm not going after Gen Con.
Yes.
Like with thousands and thousands and thousands of tickets. Would it be nice to have them on board? Yeah, give me a call. I'm happy to help out and set up a system for you. But I want to help out the nonprofits and the community organizations. The ones that they can afford $100 for their event. That's a couple of tickets or 3 tickets that they're going to cover the cost on it. I don't need more than that to be able to help them out.
Yeah, I love it. All right, number 9. Who is the pilot of the Millennium Falcon? You came around on this one.
They're getting closer.
Oh yeah? Watch this.
I'm so disappointed in myself.
I thought this one was a softball, but you got there. It's perfect. So Han Solo. So this one, get back to like you being solopreneur. We talked about this a little bit too already. You're wearing all the hats.
Yeah.
Right. So like, what has that taught you? Like being the guy doing all the things with this.
You can't just build something and people will come. It's not Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. It takes a lot more time than you actually think it's going to take. Not just like if I take the coding side out of it, I'm still having a full-time job with running this business. Like I'll spend 2 or 3 days during a week just going through emails and cold calling or sending out cold emails or responding to people or seeing that somebody signed up a week ago but hasn't created their event yet, so I'm reaching out to them, see if, hey, is there something I can help you with? Being a solo developer, solo business owner, you have to be hands-on. You can't just hand it off to somebody else because there is nobody else to hand it off to.
Right.
On the flip side of that, though, it's a benefit to me from the feedback that I've received for my customers, because I was just in a meeting the other day and talking about how Ticket Committee became the full-fledged product that it is now. 90% of the features on Ticket Committee are direct feedback from customers. So I've built things with one with the silent auction right now. I'm going to be building is they said, hey, it'd be really cool if during our gala they could have a display board that just rotates through the silent auction items with the current bid and a QR code that goes directly to that item.
That is a good idea.
So I'm going to build it. Like it's just that's one of the benefits of having a solo developer, solo business owner. The founder of it doing the development as well, and not just being the desk person. Is give me the feedback and I'll build it for you.
Are you gonna work on a thermometer too? Because I have people that be like, "Can you build me a thermometer?"
Thing? I am actually. There's a roadmap item that is a straight up donation, a campaign type where you just set your goal and it'll be a display board thermometer with a QR code to be able to just make a donation. So back to the old telethon days of
Yeah, exactly. You want somebody with a red marker.
Oh yeah,
or fill in the ticket. And
maybe I can get you to do a green screen for me of filling in a chart that I can throw in.
Yeah, I had that requested. Like, do you have anything like that? I'm like, no, I can figure it out. I'm like, Excel. I got a bar behind it and something in front of it. Like, I can figure it out, but it's not gonna be pretty.
Yeah.
You need a bigger brain. Love it. All right. Last one then. I don't think I would have got this one either. The 2012 musical comedy. Would you have gotten this one, Summer?
I would have, and the only reason I would have, I've not seen the movies per se. Several of my buddies on deployment, for some reason, really wanted to watch them. So they would have movie nights and watch them. But it is pitch perfect.
It's pitch perfect. Correct.
Huh. Nope.
I only know it. I've never
gotten
seen
that
it
one.
either. Yeah. I've heard the Cup song, right? That got so popular.
Is that where that's from?
Yes, right?
Well, I don't know if it originated from there, but it's popular because of it.
Yeah, like it was a prior song, but it was even on the radio where you hear Anna Kendrick like on the top 40 or whatever doing the Cup song, and it was like weird. Anyway, this is my tie up one, just to be like one last pitch. Anything you haven't mentioned yet or we haven't covered yet that you think would be great to learn about ticket committee? Anything you're working on next other than a sweet thermometer?
Yeah, I mean it's a platform that is out there to help organizations. So I've already mentioned, if there's something in there that doesn't work for you or doesn't do something that you want to do, just reach out to me and tell me, and I could likely work with you to build that. Right now we are running where you can get your first event and campaign for free, 100% free, no credit card needed to sign up. Run your event, just get on the platform, try it out, and get going with it. Nonprofits do have 50% off on Ticket Committee.
Okay.
So if they're a registered nonprofit, they do get a 50% discount. Just reach out and I'll enable that for them. I've had really good positive feedback from it, making it a lot easier to be able to manage their events than they have in the past with other platforms. So I'd love to get you on board and let me know what you think.
Yeah, well, that's great. The other comment I want to say before too is easier. Like when you said being a solopreneur, like the people don't just come out of the cornfield. Right? Once that you go yourself into the cornfield because you don't have the daytime job, then things seem to go a little bit faster. So that's only a token of knowledge that I can bestow upon you there, that I'm a few steps ahead of you in the business game yet so far, but you'll outcode me till your dying day. So it's fine.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Well, super appreciate you taking the time. It was really good having you here. Yeah. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And, I'm going to have to go watch some movies now.
Yeah, that's right. Get on that.
All right. Thank you.
Great. That was awesome. I met Brian, is actually in the same town, one of my employees, and introduced us that he was making this tool. And he was like, I'd love to pick your brain on the finance stuff. So we had a call, and you can just tell it's just such a smart dude. I can't imagine building the tool myself like that. Like learning some of the tools are hard enough. I'm not going to build it. Right. But yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, it was super cool to just hear his journey and his experience of how it came to be. I love the stories where the business just kind of accidentally happened.
Right.
Like, hey, I didn't really want to do this. It wasn't in my plan, but then, people started asking for it. And then just being able to make the tool your own. Like he was saying, people just asking for things. He's like, yeah, I can do that. That's going to make his tool so much more unique than kind of any out of the box stuff. So very exciting stuff on the horizon for him, I feel.
Yeah. And I think we've said this before, right? I'd rather have a product that's a B with an A+ support. And if he's made the product and is answering the questions and building the things, you're going to have that side of support. So that's
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. Well, this was a good one.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Again, you can find us at unchartedpodcast.net or .org, and come out and leave us some feedback. Love it if you give us a 5-star rating on your favorite podcast tool, and I'm sure we'll be back soon.
That's great. Wait.